Hey, welcome back to the channel. Parenthood is a beautiful journey that comes with its own unique set of challenges and joys. Be encouraged. If you're a parent, you are not alone. You're about to find out quickly that others are going through the exact same thing. I'm thrilled to bring you some great content today on what it's really like to be an Enneagram 1, 2, 3, all the way to 9 parent. This content was shaped by comments from real parents on my Instagram and Facebook accounts. I think you're gonna really enjoy connecting to the same struggles other parents have of your type and be encouraged to see some strengths you might need to be reminded of today. My name is Tyler Zock and I'm the author of the 40-Day Enneagram Devotional series and your personal guide to helping you transform your life, your relationships, and workplace by giving you spot-on truths for your type. If you are a fan of the Enneagram and can testify that it has changed your parenting or how you understand your parents, then smash that like button, like right now. And hit that subscribe button too, so you can get more awesome video content coming up next week. Okay, without further ado, let's get to it. For the type 1 parent, their blood pressure rises when their kids only want junk food. They hate junk food. They want their kids to eat healthy. They always have a plan and snacks on hand just in case. They're great at preparing. Type 1 parents can be overly critical of their own parenting. They're harder on themselves than any other person in this world. Beat themselves up for the ways that they parent their kids. Their kids are never tardy, because they are always going to be on time and help their kids to be on time. When type 1 parents relax, they use humor and can be a lot of fun. They additionally create predictable routines and structure, which brings a sense of security to the family and safety. They show their kids how to live honestly and conscientiously. They teach their kids about the importance of integrity and hard work. They freak out when they lose a water bottle or if the schedule changes, because they like things to be structured and planned and orderly. Their high standards unintentionally convey to their kids sometimes that good enough is not good enough. They are organized and get overwhelmed quickly with kid messes. Right? So if you're a kid, don't spill your milk. The kids of type 1s know that they need to complete their tasks and their homework regardless of how they feel. Type 1 parents will make sure that they get their responsibilities done and do their duty. Parents often are told how well behaved their kids are. You'll have a neighbor or a teacher say, your kid is just so well behaved. Well, it's because a type 1 parent taught them well, disciplined them well. Type 1 parents want their kids to get A's and tend to blame themselves when they don't. Type 1s have a hard time being present because their task list never feels complete. So they're always doing. Type 1s can always see where their kids can improve. Maybe they need a cleaner room. Maybe they need better grades. Maybe they need better manners, right? They can spot how their kids can get better every day. Type 1s take responsibility for volunteering at their school, hosting play dates, or planning parties. They just naturally run towards these things and take responsibility for them. Type 1 parents care deeply about being a good person and being a good role model, not just for their children, but for their children's teachers, friends, and everyone else in their life. Type 1s are consistent, they're fair, and they set clear boundaries. Okay, let's talk about type 2 parents. Type 2 parents serve and do things for their kids all the time. This helping mentality just comes very naturally to them. It may be a little hard for the kids of type 2 parents to do things for themselves, because oftentimes the type 2 parents enjoy doing it for their kids. They enjoy jumping in there and doing what needs to be done for their kids and helping them out, which means that type 2 parents can enable their kids sometimes when they're average to unhealthy. For a type 2 parent, they feel everything. They absorb the emotions of their kids, and it is like torture inside when their kids are suffering. It is difficult for a type 2 parent when they feel exhausted and ignored, but they want to be seen for all the things that they do and appreciated. Type 2 parents create a comfortable, cozy, and welcoming home. Super hospitable environment. Type 2 help their kids feel loved and supported, boosting their self-esteem. The parents or the kids of type 2s always feel good about themselves because the type 2s are so good at just nurturing, caring, and encouraging those little ones. For type 2 parents, they have frequent, deep, connecting conversations with their kids. They're great conversationalists and will grow up being present in the lives of their kids. Type 2 parents can struggle with resentment if their kids don't pitch in. After always helping and serving and doing, if their kids aren't reciprocating and doing anything to pitch in for the family, they could get resentful towards the kids. Type 2 parents prioritize family time at the very top of their list and can get angry if other people don't make the family a priority as well. For type 2 parents, they show and teach their kids how to talk about their emotions. The kids of type 2 parents typically have a higher emotional IQ than other kids because they're just used to their parents helping them to explore their feelings. Type 2 parents love play dates and community fun, and oftentimes are the ones initiating these types of activities. Type 2 parents seem to have a sixth sense for what their child needs. They often know what their child needs before their child even knows what they need. This is pretty 50-50, but a lot of type 2 parents I know enjoy cooking and baking for their kids, although this is not true of all type 2s. It's difficult for the type 2 parent to allow space for God to be the kid's perfect helper. The 2s want to be indispensable and just needed by their kids at all times, but sometimes they need to back away and allow the kid to fall down, to get hurt, to experience the hardships of life, and allow God to come through and be their perfect and ultimate helper. 2s struggle to take care of their own needs since they always put their kids first. The kids are always coming first, so type 2s can sometimes not engage hobbies, not go get the pedicure, manicures, or just go do fun things to take care of themselves because they're always thinking about their kids and what they need. Type 2s speak their kids' love languages. I love this. They're just naturally in tune with what their kids need, what each kid in the family needs, because every kid's going to have different, unique set of needs and love languages, but the 2s tune in to what those unique needs are and just fulfill them naturally. And 2s offer a safe, non-judgmental space for their kids to feel seen and heard. This is wonderful. A lot of kids grow up with bad experiences with parents neglecting them, not empathizing with them, not caring for them enough. But the 2s are going to create that wonderful nurturing space, that non-judgmental space to feel heard and seen. Man, that is phenomenal if you have a type 2 parent. Okay, let's talk about type 3 parents. I myself am a type 3 parent. Type 3 parents are busy. They typically are organized. They ensure that everything runs smoothly for the family. They are optimistic. They are friendly. They are upbeat. They're motivating. They gravitate towards positive emotions and prefer to avoid dwelling on anything negative. Okay, so the positivity can be good, but it also can be a blind spot. Type 3 parents encourage their kids to be goal-oriented and active in life and school. They don't want them to miss out on anything and push them to achieve and to try things. They have high expectations for their kids when it comes to academics and behavior. So similar to 1s in this way, of just having really high expectations for their kids to achieve and make something of their life. At times, the type 3 parents' workaholism may unintentionally make the kids feel like the parent is just disengaged. The kids may feel sort of invisible or disregarded by their type 3 parent. Type 3s at their best are cheerleaders, motivating their kids to do their best and never give up. Type 3 parents will create lists for their kids to assist them with chores, packing, whatever the kid needs. So the type 3 can be there to come alongside them and help them to do these types of things. They're very practical. Type 3s may find themselves saying to their kids, hurry up, or let's go, frequently throughout the day. Type 3 parents love efficiency, do not like it when their kids are going slow or not being efficient with their time. And so the Type 3s can sometimes rush their kids throughout the day. Occasionally, the Type 3 parents' communication style may come across as abrupt. I call this 3 hostility and can see it in my own life. We like efficiency, we like speed, and we don't like being disrespected. And so sometimes that 3 hostility can come out and we can be very abrupt or blunt or angry in our communication style. Type 3s can get frustrated by frequent interruptions disrupting their day. So if a Type 3 is trying to get work done at home or engaging in a project and is focused, they do not want their kids or spouse interrupting them. Sometimes Type 3 parents have the inclination to shape their kids' lives according to their own desires for success. I just mentioned this on a podcast that I was on with Beth McCord, but it's easy for me to want to live through my kids. Like, I have a dream of my sons playing high school football and going to the games and helping push them to be great athletes. And if I need to watch out that I'm not trying to live through my kids, but I let them have their own lives and pursue their own dreams. For the Type 3 parent, it's important to separate their love and approval from the kids' accomplishments. We need to continue to tell our kids that we love them apart from what they do, to show approval to them even when they fail or aren't doing the things that we want them to do. For the Type 3 parent, we can be overly controlling at times. We're part of the assertive stance, so we kind of know what we want in life. We know what we kind of want out of the day and can run over people or be a little too controlling, trying to get our way. The kids of a Type 3 parent can perceive their parents as reliable and dependable. When 3s are healthy, they look like 6s. They're very loyal and committed to the family. Next, Type 3 parents can get impatient when their kids do things inefficiently or don't take their well-intentioned advice. Type 3 parents can use their resourcefulness to help their kids succeed. I think that Type 3s have the gift of Googling, and I'm constantly Googling to help my son find what he needs to get through the day, or find things for school, or buy supplies. Type 3s sometimes feel that their kids' behavior reflects on them and impacting how they are perceived. So if their kid is failing in school or not being a part of the church musical, they're very sensitive to how that then is going to reflect on them. So Type 3 parents need to be very aware of that. Okay, let's talk about Type 4 parents. Type 4 parents are always looking for meaningful experiences with their kids. They are warm and compassionate parents. They are overwhelmed with empathy when their kids need it the most. So they are one of the most empathetic parents out there. They don't like the mundane aspects of parenting. So doing the dishes, taking out the trash, those types of repetitive or mundane tasks are just something that 4s do not like. 4s are on an eternal quest to emotionally regulate themselves when their kids are absolutely losing their minds. This is something that's really hard for a 4 parent, just to keep that equilibrium when the kids are all over the place. 4 parents encourage their kids to follow their passions. So whereas the 3 might try to channel their kids towards their passions, 4s are great at helping their kids to follow their own unique passions in life. 4s easily spot the gold in their kids because they're concerned with being unique and special, can just spot those unique qualities in their kids and call out greatness in them. 4 parents tend to celebrate the unconventional things in their kids' lives, the things that other parents might not see or celebrate. Type 4s are very good at validating their emotions, the kids' emotions, and helping them walk through them. Right? In general, 4s are great guides, helping us to walk through the dark nights of the soul that we experience. And why wouldn't they be good at helping their kids to do the same thing? Fours create space for quiet time and for creativity. Oftentimes really bring out that creative side of their child very naturally. Fours don't expect perfection like ones or threes might, which makes their kids not feel judged or pushed. Fours help their kids to understand themselves better and what their unique strengths are. Fours encourage emotional expression. They encourage their kid to be authentic and to express themselves uniquely. Fours, however, find it deeply hurtful when their kids totally misunderstand them or just interpret them in a way that the parent did not intend. Fours struggle when their kids withdraw from them, when the four parent wants to help them sort through their big feelings, when the four feels empathy towards their kids and they want to help them, but then the four child just sort of rejects them, doesn't let them help, and just wants to be alone. A four parent can struggle with that. The kids of type 4 parents know that they can always come to their parent, their sensitive, caring parent with a problem, and that the parent will help them to feel better. Type 4 parents get tapped out quickly and crave alone time that they don't usually get. Type 4 parents sometimes feel envious of other parents, since envy is their vice. They may look at other parents and think, man, if I just had their qualities, or if I just had their well-behaved kids, or just wish I had their home or their life. So envy is a real struggle. Routines are tough for the type 4 parent. We just talked about how they don't like doing mundane things, and the type 4 parent would like every day to be special and unique. And sometimes it's hard to engage in those routines that the kids need them to engage in. And lastly, 4 parents enjoy sharing their love of nature, art, music, and just the beauty of life with their kids. They really open their kids up to a whole new world by sharing what they love with their child. Okay, let's talk about type 5 parents. Type 5 parents are kind, devoted, and dependable. They enjoy helping their kids learn new things about the world. They can break down or explain very difficult concepts for their kids. They can help their kids grow up and become very independent creatures. 5 parents often possess strong problem-solving skills. Type 5 parents impart the skill of critical thinking to their children. Type 5 parents can see through the dust to the real issue and help their kids figure out problems objectively. And they can stay objective during arguments or conflicts. Sometimes parents will fly off the handle and use shame or get very emotional, but the type 5 parent can stay very sort of even keel during arguments or conflicts, which can be helpful. 5 parents sometimes have difficulty sharing or showing their emotions with their kids. So they might be reliable and steady, but the child doesn't know what their parent feels. When unhealthy, type 5 parents can appear intellectually arrogant, and their kids may feel judged or intimidated. One of the biggest challenges for the type 5 parent is making sure that they are present and not aloof or kind of trapped in their head. For the type 5 parent, their absolute favorite is the why stage, when kids are curious to understand the world and are asking lots of questions. Type 5 parents help their kids feel safe by providing a stable and nurturing environment. And type 5 parents are very self-contained and don't project their needs onto their children, which is another great thing. Being spontaneous or doing things on a whim is not the forte of the Enneagram 5 parent. They're not that spontaneous, and therefore we'll need to work on that. Type 5 parents can support their kids in articulating themselves well. Because 5s are great thinkers, have brilliant minds, and are creative and just thoughtful and take their time, they can help their kids to be thoughtful and take their time as well. Type 5 parents are elated when they see their kids grasp principles and keys that can make them effective and happy in life. Staying engaged is a struggle when the type 5 parent starts to get overstimulated with lots of touch or noise. They may start to isolate or withdraw from the family. Type 5s need lots of alone time to recharge, but don't always get it, especially when you have young kids in the house. And lastly, type 5s are very good at observing and consider the responses of their kids without overreacting. And we talked about this before, how 5s are not overly emotional. It can be really helpful to have a parent that doesn't fly off the handle when they're doing things wrong, or if they get in trouble. The type 5 can respond without overreacting and can stay level-headed. Okay, let's talk about type 6 parents. 6 parents are loyal, they are cautious, they build committed relationships within their family. They see all the horrible things that could happen to their kids, and it makes them sick to their stomach when they start to think about all the bad things that could happen to those children. Type 6 parents say a lot. Wear your helmet. Drink lots of water. Don't walk around at night unless you want to get hurt, develop kidney stones, or get kidnapped. Okay? Watch out. 6s are responsible and well prepared for their family members. 6s just have a lot of discernment. Type 6s create fun experiences for their kids as they grow up because they're so loyal and dedicated to the home and to the people in the home, not necessarily their career or goals like other types. Type 6 parents, though, can give their kids anxiety at times as they verbally process the what-ifs out loud with their children. It can be paralyzing trying to make the right parenting decision. And so a lot of times 6 parents will suffer analysis paralysis or have to get second opinions before they pull the trigger on doing something as a parent. Type 6 parents stick with the tasks, and their family knows that those tasks will be done well. 6 parents are very practical and, again, very responsible to doing those important tasks. Tasks that like type 4s might not want to do, for example. 6s teach their kids how to be courageous. Right? The 6s are not the deer in the headlights kind of stereotype that people think of. But type 6s, while they do think about the worst case scenarios, when those worst case scenarios happen, the 6s step out in courage and confront the bullies. And so they can teach their child how to stand up for themselves and not back down. Type 6 kids know that the 6th parent will always be there to support them no matter what. Type 6 parents help their kids anticipate problems and be very aware of their surroundings. Type 6 parents encourage their kids to be good helpers by supporting the lonely, the new kid, the bullied kid, by being a designated driver when they're older and in high school. They teach their kids how to take care of their environment, etc. They just teach them to be responsible human beings. Type 6 parents can be overprotective or too controlling to keep them from experiencing pain. So just need to watch out that they don't overprotect their kids. Type 6 parents want to say, "I told you so" every day after their repeated warnings. So it's one of the signs you might be a 6 if you say, "I told you so" a lot to your kids. Type 6 parents put their kids' needs before their own. So a lot like type 2 parents. Will often think of their kids and do things for their kids before their own needs, which makes them very supportive and very loyal to have as parents. Okay, let's talk about type 7 parents. Type 7 parents are spontaneous and always up for unscheduled adventures. Type 7 parents bring the fun even to mundane tasks like cleaning. They can make cleaning a fun project. They tend to be their kids' biggest cheerleader, supporter, and advocate. Type 7 parents love teaching their kids how to do things so they can be independent, kind of like type 5 parents. They want their kid not to grow up not depending on others. Type 7 parents can get overstimulated easily with the chaos of the kids in the home and can get fried out pretty quickly. At times, the service required of motherhood or fatherhood can be overwhelming to a type 7 parent. And they may find themselves trying to plan retreats or getaways or vacations or to get out of the home because it can be pretty demanding. It's a challenge for a type 7 parent to compromise on what they want to do versus what the kids want to do. It's hard, like maybe a type 6 or type 2 parent or type 9 parent, to just kind of go with the flow and do what your kids want to do, because a 7 always knows what they want to do and will struggle with letting their kid kind of guide the way when the type 7 has some exciting plans to take their kids on. Kids wallowing in their emotions is like listening to a middle school band concert screeching for a type 7 parent. They do not like just whining and emotions. Again, that's just overwhelming to them, and it just sounds like screeching. 7s always bring a lot of energy to their home. That's one thing you can always count on them for. Type 7 parents love the idea of having a big family, and it oftentimes seemed like an adventure as they were young and planning for a family. But then when it actually happens, they find themselves succumbing to bouts of cabin fever. Like, okay, I wanted a big family. This sounded really fun, but now that I have it, oh my goodness, it's like overwhelming, and I just have cabin fever and just need to get out. The type 7 parent cannot handle when their kids are bored or disappointed, and will find distractions or find some other way to get their kid back on track to feeling excited and positive and energized again. Because 7s don't like negative emotions, they oftentimes are afraid of letting their kids get lost or stuck in negative emotions, even healthy ones like grief. Therefore, will not actually let their kids suffer in that way or endure pain in that way, and will try to get them out of it. I heard one 7 parent tell me, "It seems like I've handed over the keys to the circus, but hey, it's a wild ride and I wouldn't have it any other way." I like that positive outlook on parenting. For the type 7 parent, their kids will get to go to shows, get to go to restaurants, get to go to sporting games, trails, water parks, and travel a lot, more so than other kids, because type 7s are so fun and make fun of family value. Type 7s are very welcoming to their kids, friends, and significant others. So it's just easy to take your friends to your type 7 parents' home because they're great around your friends and girlfriend and boyfriends. They're not awkward or weird. Sometimes the kids of type 7s tell them that they lack empathy when emotions and situations are more negative. So 7 can have a hard time being sensitive or empathetic at times. 7s teach their kids how to have good people skills. This is really great, especially if a type 7 has a Enneagram 5 or a 9 child or a 4 child. They just know how to teach their kids to engage well, to have good conversations, because they model it for them wherever they go. Okay, let's talk about type 8 parents. Type 8s create an environment of security and love. Steadfast, loyal love in the home. They are warm and generous when they're relaxed. Now, they have high expectations for fun, for responsibility, for doing your duty, and for showing up for special moments. Type 8s constantly challenge their kids to do their best, to do their absolute best. Type 8s are resourceful and can help their kids achieve their goals, like we talked about with type 3 parents. Type 8 parents will not tolerate nagging or whining or gossiping. Direct communication is preferred. Type 8 parents can be intense, so they often have to say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so intense. Please forgive me." And they have to do that often. Type 8s will emphasize the consequences of poor choices and will let you fall so that you can learn from your mistakes. Type 8s, because of their strong presence, can let everybody in the house know I'm in charge and can sound bossy at times. Type 8s are firm disciplinarians, for the most part, and can be impatient when their kids just don't get it. You just don't get it. Type 8s can put too much pressure on themselves and their kids at times. But Type 8s bring a fun and energetic spirit to the home, which makes life really, really enjoyable and lively. A Type 8's biggest fear is not always being there to protect their kids. They hate it when their kids get bullied and they weren't around to step in for their child. Type 8s model fighting for the underdog. Like, you will talk about issues of justice, bullies, standing up for yourself. You will hear those types of things if you have a type 8 parent, which is really, really helpful because some parents don't teach their kids to stand up for themselves. Whereas some personality types will maybe dote on their kids or do too many things for their kids. Type 8s rarely indulge or pamper their children. They raise strong, hardworking, independent kids. They bring fierce loyalty and stability to their children. And their kids know that their parent would protect them at any cost. The type 8 parent can struggle with sensitivity and validating emotions at times. They teach their children to stand up for what's right, like we mentioned earlier. They encourage healthy arguments without yelling. Yeah, the 8s can be combative and very angry, but when they're healthy, they will teach their kids how to verbally spar and wrestle and get to the heart of the matter in a healthy way without yelling. And lastly, what's just great about type 8 parents is they don't play favorites. They value every single child equally. Okay, let's lastly talk about type 9 parents. Type 9 parents have a hard time setting and sticking to boundaries due to seeing their child's point of view, or maybe even doubting their own parent decisions. Sometimes their kids can take advantage of the type 9's kindness. When the type 9 just wants to be really nice and supportive of their kids, the kid can stretch the boundaries too far of disobedience or doing what the 9 parent doesn't want them to do. 9 parents may feel the pressure to keep doing more and more and more for their child. They're good at supporting their kids, but maybe not so much supporting themselves and their own convictions and desires, kind of like type 2s. What's great about type 9 parents is they know their kids well, and sharing with them and having conversations with them just comes really naturally. They're like the parent that's like a friend as well. Type 9 parents struggle with merging, and this will be an ongoing struggle not to lose their sense of their autonomy and merge with their kids and their lives, living through their kids or being overly connected to their children. For the 9 parent, getting their kids to help around the house is challenging, especially if they have a hard time disciplining. Type 9s are approachable because they give their children space to talk and avoid yelling at them. They're like one of the most approachable parents out of any other type. For the type 9, like we mentioned earlier, it's difficult to enforce consequences because type 9s will feel guilty being a disciplinarian or guilty if they make their child suffer through boundaries or consequences. So it's just a challenge for all type 9 parents. But type 9s will work harder than any other type to foster family harmony and to keep the peace and make sure all the children are loving one another and respecting one another. They really work hard to create that sense of harmony in the home. Type 9 parents can help their kids navigate their emotions, oftentimes like type 4s do well. They're very in tune with how the child is feeling and will have great conversations to navigate life and navigate how they're feeling. Type 9s will do so well at meeting their kids where they are. So not just calling them forward to be better, but to get down on their knees and to sort of meet their kid where they're at in life and to encourage them and cheerlead them forward. Empathy for the type 9 parent is effortless. They're some of the most empathetic parents out there. And they understand why their kids are having a meltdown. Where some parents might look at their kids funny and be surprised or baffled about why their kids are melting down or doing the things they are. A type 9 can see life through their kids' eyes and can just understand like why they're feeling the way they are. Type 9's parents just create a relaxed environment where their kids can play and be creative. They create a very hospitable and safe space. Many things aren't worth fighting over until they accumulate, leading to outbursts by the type 9 parents. They try to keep the harmony, but when things finally bubble up, the type 9 can have outbursts of anger towards their children. And sometimes a type 9 parent can get sad because they don't feel like they're respected by their kids or that they're actually taken seriously by their kids, which kind of can result from being overly lenient or overly permissive over time with their children, sort of becoming too much of a friend rather than a parent to their children. Type 9 parents have a low tolerance for noise or intense emotions and can get their breaker tripped pretty easily, and the 9 needs to have their quiet space or getting to their comforting routine to get away from the craziness of all the kids. And lastly, type 9 parents struggle to prioritize their own needs and desires because they often put their family ahead of themselves. So like type 2 parents, 9s will need to remember to take care of themselves, to engage in hobbies and fun things, to feel energized, to put themselves first so that they can bring their healthy, full selves to their parenting. Okay, we did it. We made it through all 9 types. Now I want to know what you think. Was I spot on in the description of your type? What stuck out to you the most? What truth did you need to be encouraged by today? What struggle are you glad to hear that others of your same type have as well? So drop a comment below and let us know. Now don't leave, because I've created a playlist with over 90 minutes of free teaching on what it's like to be a child of every Enneagram type. So click on that playlist right here and choose your type to continue enjoying more valuable content, and I'll see you in the next one.